I'm a junior. I was the one who said I was taking it in June. So that's gonna be the first time I take the LSAT, and then I plan to take it again later in the fall of my senior year, right before I apply to law schools. Do you have any like recommendations of like how to differ? Because I'm gonna probably be taking it the last time on the paper, and then I'll probably be taking it electronically. So like, what would you recommend studying wise, or like how would you think the biggest differences would be?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for that. So if you're taking it in June on paper, of course, then that means that you want to be using physical materials. So you want to have those books of 10 on Amazon published by LSAC with the actual exams. And then you want to be, of course, timing yourself strictly and everything like that. But then once it's going, let's say you're taking the exam again in the fall in September or October, and you're doing it digitally, then you would ideally, have some sort of way to access the digital versions of the exam, like the PDFs. So you could do them on your screen, or maybe you have to scan them or something like that. But doing them on the screen and then working with scrap paper on the side is my biggest recommendation for doing it in the digital format. And of course, those are very different experiences. So you're going to want to study, let's say you take it in June, it's June 3rd. You then still have at least 3.5 months or so to start doing it on the screen to adjust to the digital format. So I would say over the course of the summer, try to do at least once a week or so, do a timed exam on the screen with your scrap paper to the side. But of course, everything else, like the timing, will remain the same. And definitely familiarize yourself with the digital format. If you go on LSAC's site, the website is familiar.lsac.org. It's LSAC's online familiarization tool. And so you can kind of interact with some of those digital LSAT features there. And you could do that on a laptop or desktop computer. But of course, the experience that will more closely replicate that is if you can do it on a tablet, ideally, or if not that, a smartphone. LSAC is using the Microsoft Surface Go tablets for the actual official LSAT administrations, but a more affordable option is the Samsung Galaxy tablet. And you can, of course, want to use that with a stylus, which is kind of like a pen for the tablet. So I recommend that. Of course, it's a couple $100. It's not ideal that you have to invest that, but again, the ROI, if it gets you even a single point more on the LSAT, is enormous. And so it's well worth investing in that if you're taking the LSAT digitally.
And in the digital model, do they allow us to scrap on the side if we like work on it on the actual daily exams? So are we allowed that?
Yeah, so on the digital LSAT, you will have scrap paper to the side, which is great. There seems to be, you'll have more than enough scrap paper. What you won't be able to do is draw freehand on the tablet itself. You're very limited in how you can interact with the digital LSAT. So you can highlight using their tool, you can underline using their tool, you can enlarge the text if you want, but you're not able to draw notes on the tablet as if it were a piece of paper, which is kind of funny to me because I feel like the whole point of a tablet is that you can draw freehand like you would draw on a piece of paper, but LSAC has their technological limitations, I guess. So that's what you're dealing with.